right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim that push the word, sincerity, and the truth. It's the brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta, back with another lesson. Going into basically striving for the stars, striving for the clouds, basically reaching your perfection. We just lightly discussing basically the lesson and just, vibing, so to speak, in the spirit, just going into basically each and every one of us brothers individually, we should be fighting to be the best men we could be. Yahweh Shai, like it says in the scriptures, the Lord is going to come with healing in his wings. So he's going to come and arrive, and, he's going to see us as we are, so to speak. And think about the bride actually being seen by the husband, because the scriptures do reference Yahweh Shai as basically the husband to gain us as the bride. The bride wants to look her best. She wants to be sharp. She wants to be arrayed in all white. Make sure she's clean. Make sure she's blemishless. Make sure that she's been on her best behavior. She wasn't effing off with all kind of men, defiled, so to speak. So when the husband actually joins himself onto her, he'll actually be relieved and basically satisfied by the wife that is assigned to him. And us brothers that are the spiritual brides unto Yahweh Shai, spiritual women, we should be trying to be the best men of the Lord that we could be. Of course, the scriptures do liken Zion unto even women, calmly and delicate women. But we should be trying to be the best individuals. We should be in the spirit of the Lord. Now, of course, we in captivity. We're subject to payments. We're subject to sicknesses. We're just in the lowest, or as Eli Yashawamba, put out the worst case scenario. We're in the worst case scenario, so we're in the lowest degree possible. But at the end of the day, you don't want to make excuses for yourself and put physical limitations to yourself, outside of what's already going on. Of course, you're not going to be rich. This thing isn't about being rich to be to shine, so to speak. You're not going to be wealthy. For brothers that are well off, that's a whole nother story, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But as an individual, it's still certain things that you can do to better yourself, man. To build spiritual aesthetics, which aesthetics, of course, is beauty. And how can you build spiritual aesthetics? Polishing yourself. When you look at stones, dirty stones or gold, the first appearance of that stone is very dross ridden. It's a lot of dross. It's a lot of dirt that's covering it. But to get that stone in its beauty and its perfection, you have to burn all the outer sediments. You have to smelt it. You have to purify it. You have to have it go through that cycle or that furnace of heat. And then at the latter end, you'll see the shining and the beauty of that element. And we represent those elements. So you have to go through certain processings. You have to go through certain trials and tribulations, as well as polishing your mind with these scriptures thoroughly so that you could be the best individual you could be.
That's right. Yep.
So we'll just jump into scriptures to support through the spirit what we're going into.
I got some. This is Luke 19:13. And he called his servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
And this is the occupation, This is definitely a work, and it's a labor of love. So in this labor, you should be relieved by reading, actually feel enthralled to increase in the spirit, like it tells you in Sirach. Jesus, the son of Sirach, he spoke about the addiction of wisdom that was allotted unto him. And he took those writings from his father, because his grandfather was a master sage, so to speak. He was very skillful in the arts of wisdom and parables and dark sayings. And he took that spirit and he infused it within himself, and he extended the book. That's how we should be in the spirit, taking the spirit of the Lord and extending this book, because this book is still being written. It's not physical writings, but it's the oral all brothers actually speaking it out to be true. But you continue.
Okay. This is I keep going. It says, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man reign over us. I think that was, let me see. Oh, yeah. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him.
Mm-hmm.
To whom he had given to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
Yeah, and that word money in the Hebrew is shequalium, which is shekels. The Lord presented each and every one of us shekels, and it's up to us to exchange it, to increase it, to appreciate with it or depreciate with it, sell it, give it away. It's up to you, you know. And you guys, you look at people in the world, you'll see people that have great money management skills. These Warren Buffetts, you know, these top devils, these Steve Jobs and these Mark Zuckerbergs. They'll tell you their life story about how they took, you know, $10 and made $1 million out of it. You know, took $1 million and made $100 million off of it. You know, took hundreds of millions and made $1 billion off of it. You know, so on and so forth. And you'll see dumbasses, so to speak, on the other side of the spectrum that was already blessed with millions and they blew it. You know, you got this world is full of individuals that are impoverished, and they're like Brother Gamaliel, the captain, was saying. You know, you got individuals. Apostle Art actually went into the lesson. Lawyers, guy that was a lawyer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, here it is making fucking $200,000 or $300,000. You know, more or less a year.
You lost yourself.
And you lost yourself, and you wound it up in a dump. You know, and you never want to be. It's like which side do you want to choose? Do you want to choose the super successful in the spirit, of course, from taking these talents and gradually elevating, or do you want to take these talents and BS with it and lose the increase?
That's right.
Because the Lord says when you read in the latter verses that He's going to require usury, which is interest. He whatever He gave us, He's gonna want it to be doubled up, tripled up. Continue.
God says. Then came the first, saying, Lord, that pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because
you know, Jacob today, that he knew how to flip, man.
God.
Take 1 pound and flip it to 10. He was a master flipper. And in order to flip, what do you have to have? You have to have clientele, not in a drug sense, of course. Clientele is just clients. You have to have a network, so to speak. A sales pitch, you know, good product, and then, you know, of course, you know, you have an honest rapport, and if you actually are honest and you give it to the individual off of the product that they received, they'll see, oh man, this is some good stuff, and then word of mouth starts to storm around. So that's a good servant. He did that which was right. He seen that the product was given to him, which is the Spirit of the Lord, and he used his spiritual value to sell. To get off the product, so that it could be gradually increased. The 2 turns to 4, the 4 turns to 8, so to speak.
Right. The Lord gave him a great portion too, because you know, the Lord basically invested more in him, and He gave the Lord more return. Okay, and that's the way any investment works. Okay, and an investor mindset, they want to make sure that whoever they're given this portion to, okay, that is going to be beneficial unto them. Otherwise, why would they give it? Why would you invest in someone that can't repay you? You know, with more than what you initially gave them. You know, because really, ultimately, like we were saying before we started, ultimately Yahweh Shem Shai is putting us in a position to win. He's actually fronting us spiritual money.
Yeah. You
know, like in drug terms, they say, well, advance. Even in business terms, you have what's called an advance.
They call them when you're dealing with a business, they call them angel investors because they invest their money, you know, into your business, and they actually get a percentage of it.
Like Think Tank.
Shark. What's it called? Shark.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark.
But you starting out with little to no resources. So really, and that's how we are through the Spirit. Okay, we started out with little to no resources, and the Lord said, "Hey, you know what? I'll invest in you. You know, just do the work.
Yeah.
Do the work and you know, do these things for me and serve me, and it's a win-win.
Because this thing is a business.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
so if you take what the Lord has given you, and you just still on that same level throughout, and the Lord is not seeing any growth. You know, He's not making any profit off of you. You know, and that the profit is your fruit. You know,
beautiful.
That's why you got to be constantly producing.
And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been little faithful in very little, in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities.
Yeah, so the Lord said, that's what I'm talking about.
Promoted him.
Yep, you get promoted. Say, you've been faithful in a little bit. I just gave you, because the Lord could have gave him way more, but he gave him that which, like it says, to whom much is given, much is required. You know, he gave him enough that he could take and give a return on. You know? He said, faithful servant, be thou over 10 cities. And he knows that man is going to be faithful over them 10 cities because what? He was faithful in little. It says, he that's faithful in little shall be faithful in much, and he that's unfaithful in little shall be unfaithful in much. And the Lord is measuring us not from the government that we're ruling over and the kingship that we actually have, the jurisdiction of the world. It's about these small little things that we do in our life. The many things that we do in life speaks volumes about how we would conduct ourselves and how would we do play out on a wider spectrum.
Like that saying, don't sweat the small stuff. You know, that small stuff is crucial because that's what makes up, like the brother said, that's what makes up the grander scheme of things, and it goes into your character. So the Lord is basing you off. The Lord is also judging you off, even little minute details, certain things that you subconsciously aren't even catching on to. But the Lord is keeping tab. He's like, okay, I like that, or I don't like that, you know. But over time, that just becomes your character.
It's like almost like a habit. You know, because once you're doing something consistent on a consistent base, you forget whatever you was doing before, and you just move. It's basically ordinary for you now. For just a small example, as far as brothers going out to clubs. If you just not into it no more, hey, the Lord's like, hey man, I'm pleased that you not into that lifestyle no more.
Yep, that's right.
That's right. Yeah. It says, and the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities.
Keep going.
And another came, saying, Lord, behold, there is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin, for I feared thee, because thou art an austere man.
Yeah, it's the epitome of a nigga, man.
Yeah, excuses.
Yeah, you got excuses. He hiding the talent. Talent is withering away in the earth. What you hiding it for, man? You don't make no money off of letting money sit.
He was afraid to take the chance.
And he was scared to take risks. Which that word entrepreneur, it means to take risks.
Oh yeah, kind of.
To be a risk taker, So even every day is a risk, even in the spirit of the Lord. To increase and develop in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, that to a certain degree, that's a risk. Yeah. To go to the highways and byways, that's a risk. To get out your comfort zone, that's a risk.
Yeah. And the Lord was upset with him because of his lack of faith. Because if you think about an investor, right? Like if you give someone a dollar, all right, and they're, oh, here's your dollar back. A normal person wouldn't really get upset because it's like, all right, well, you know what, you couldn't do anything with the dollar. I just give, you gave me the dollar back. That's cool. But guess what? Yahweh Shai, he expected more of him. So that's why he was upset. That's why he said thou wicked and I think it says it's gonna go into it, but that's why he was upset is because
he knows your full potential.
Yeah, he knows you could on what you can do, and he knows you basically were lazy as hell.
Wasting time. You're
wasting time. So you just basically, all right, so you're just not even gonna you're not even gonna do anything. You're just gonna go hide it, But I'm gonna keep reading. It says, "Thou takest up that thou layest not down."
And if I can say something too, just to add, and that all goes back to the basically the layout of the lesson that we're going into is to be the best man you could be, and hiding your talent is really hiding your true potential. You don't want to just try to skate and just flatline in its truth. You know, you wanna go up, man. You wanna move up the spectrum to be the best servant that you could be, the best minister that you could be the best man you could be be as balanced as you could be. That's why Peter said that, in, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Peter 1, add to your faith.
Yeah,
everything he was saying was add. You know, Yahweh
You can get that.
which the additions when you deal with math deals with growth. 1 + 1, that's an increase. Anything that pluses is going to increase. Only unless it's 0. But besides that, of course, anything that has a addition to it is gonna, and there's no such thing as really 1 + 0. It has to be something to equate, whether it's smaller or bigger, it's gonna profit. That's why it's an addition. You know, 1 + 5, that it added up. 10 + 10, it added up. 100 + 100, it added up. And that's how you should want to be. Even if you adding up little by little, you're still going up. You never want to subtract. Because whenever subtractions start to come into place, what happens? You're going downhill. Keep going. Oh, you done with that? Or
it's a little bit more, but you can grab that real quick since you brought that.
This is 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse. I'll start at verse 5. It says, well, I started at verse 4. It says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And besides this, given all...
And that's one of the main things that cut off your discipline, too. You know, the reason why you may not have, you know, you might be 34, 35, 36, 37, you know, up in age, and you don't have nothing for yourself, or you're constantly in limbo. You feel like you've been running a hamster wheel. A lot of times it's because you lust, man. The lust, even laziness. Laziness is a lust. You desire to lay down all day.
Yeah, because lust just not talking about just women.
Yep. And it's also, you know, your lack of drive, your lack of motivation. You know, because hey, this life, hey, like the brother said, you know, you got some men that are a little bit up in age, and you know, they've been in the world longer, so they defeated. Some of them are just defeated, so they're in that spirit of complacency, and just because Jake is like a beat down dog. You know, just sad, and you know, like just defeated. Like the so-called white men, they've been, you know, dealing with oppression and been broke for so long that they just don't, you know, they don't see any hope. But hey, look at, if you want to see a good example of older men in age that are still growing, look at the apostles and elders. Okay, they're older men in age, but guess what? They're constantly growing in the faith. They're constantly still pushing and increasing in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So that's why we have examples of our apostles and elders. Elder meaning what? Older in age, you know, been around long in the spirit, you know.
That's right.
And so it says, oh, was that it on that?
No, it's this.
Okay, kind of, yeah.
It says, verse 5, and besides this, giving all diligence add to your faith virtue.
Yeah, in the strong with your belief. If you have a strong belief, you can build a lot off of that. That's what it's basically saying. So you want to pray to believe more. Embrace your belief and build off of your belief. That's why I said we believe, therefore we speak. Anything that you believe into, you're going to strive greatly to achieve it. You know, before these NBA players became professionals, they just were young men with a hope and a dream, man. You know, they and the talent developed after, you know. But it was always about how much they believed in themselves.
Because they had doubters.
Yep.
You know, they unbelievers. You know, and just add to the brother's point, and we have the same thing, but the difference is we have the truth, man.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, we have the scriptures coming from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, so that should make us even go harder, man, when we have, you know, doubters, you know, those who don't believe that we have the truth. You know, that should make us, that should add to your faith alone, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Like they say, make your haters your motivators.
Right. Yeah, hey, that's
you know? Hey, but that's true. You gotta do that. You gotta you know convince the gainsayers, like people that's basically counting you out. You gotta show them like, look, I'm still making a way. I got the spirit. You know, I'm still like you tried to basically shit on me, so to speak. But guess what? The Lord is still with me, and He's providing a way for me to increase. You know, that's what it means to make your haters your motivators. You know,
because the word motivate it goes back to the word movere, which means to move. So haters, people that hate you, that should move you. It should make you want to strive to get better. Say for instance, you whatever occupation you in, and you got people that hate what you're doing. That should move you to become more successful. Or if you're unsuccessful and people are hate you, whether it's positive hatred or negative hatred, it should still move you to some direction. Get you in, and motivation is the essence of getting you off your ass. Keep going.
It says, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience.
Yeah, and these things are stages and steps that you can't gain overnight, so to speak. Virtue isn't gained overnight. Knowledge isn't gained overnight. Temperance isn't gained overnight. Every day you're working at it. So every day you're working at yourself. You're like a master craftsman, or like you look at these chiselers, these individuals that chisel those sculptures. They got that chiseling hammer, they chopping down. Looking back, trying to see the best view or seeing the best layout, how it should be. That's how you're doing to your spirit. And you don't want to chip away the wrong things. Chip away your integrity. You keep your integrity. It's in with the good and out with the bad. All the extra things that may bore the picture, so to speak, or that may make the picture less vivid. You get away from, because you should have a vision of yourself at the end of the day too. Have a layout or outlook of how you want to be. You should want to be like Scripture said, we're a nation full of kings and priests. So you should carry yourself like a king. And it's so hard to carry yourself like a king if you don't know about kings. If you didn't grow up in that lifestyle with kings. You grew up in poverty, whether you lived in New Orleans or Detroit, certain parts of Florida, here in Atlanta. All you know is PB&J sandwiches and goddamn hoes.
And we're all subject to our environments. We're limited. Our environments limit us. But look at certain jakes that like the brother said, lived in poverty, and like you look at some of these, if you hear some of these motivational success stories or whatever, hey, some of them be jakes, and they come from the hood. They come from peanut butter jelly sandwiches and living in roaches and everything.
Yeah,
and that's
check to check living.
So of course we come from rough backgrounds and not having, we come from darkness, okay? But as we come into the light, it's important for us to basically keep shedding off that darkness and come more into the light.
That's right.
Shed off those layers, like the brother said. Carve out more of that picture. Carve out all that negative excess things so that you can get the best image of yourself, like the brother said.
That's right.
Was that it?
Just a little bit more. It says, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity.
And these are all additions. All these things you're adding. Charity, kindness, what else? Temperance, patience, brotherly love. All these things you're basically adding. You're basically adding so many things. And guess what? The more you add, you're replacing negative things.
That's exactly what it is.
Once you add certain things, once you add more faith, and you're doing this, you're adding on new habits, but you're also getting rid of other negative aspects.
For instance, not to cut you off, but if you're charitable, say for instance, you're giving a lot, that's taken away from selfishness. Damn, man, and brothers know that. You notice that, like, man, you're charitable, man. He's a very giving brother. He's very open. And you know what happens? That spirit rubs off. Like, man, I need to be like that brother, man. And I see this brother always got good spirits on him, man. I gotta get that negative demon off me. You know, I'm always feeling low, but this brother always up. You know, I gotta get better. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing about when you striving to be the best man you could be too. You motivate the individuals around you.
That's right.
That's why you have something known as what? Motivational speakers.
Yep.
And you got people that pay good money. They'll fly states away, man.
Yeah.
Just to hear a good speech.
Yep.
And they could just click on the internet and just watch it from the device.
Not
but
the same feeling.
It's way more impactful when you're amongst the environment and you're hearing the energy being lashed straight to your face. You know? And those certain individuals, they'll leave those motivational seminaries or those motivational speaker houses, so to speak, and they'll strive and they'll end up becoming motivational speakers. Or
Some of them be millionaires.
Yeah, some of them be millionaires.
And that goes to show you it's all about what you're putting into your mind. Because if you're feeding your mind, you know, all these virtues, then all you're gonna get subconsciously, your spirit is going to automatically, you know, pick up on these certain traits. You know, automatically, because you're basically indulging yourself, just like that saying, "You are what you eat." Same aspect.
Same aspect.
You know, because your thoughts have power. You know, your thoughts have a lot of power, and you know, and in a sense, and the truth, we have to actually train our thoughts, train our minds into growth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like into you know, just increasing, and good things. And guess what? Our outer man is gonna start automatically being an example, like the brother said.
Whip it into shape, whip that flesh in the goddamn shape, and you start to see that the flesh and the spirit starts to work in your will.
Start to see the benefits.
The Deacon Barzal always goes into you know, having that growth mindset and having versus a fixed mindset. You know, that fixed mindset is, hey, this is the understanding that I have, and I'm gonna just lean on that. When versus the growth is, all right, this is my foundation, and I'm gonna build off of that foundation. You know, so that's what this is about, is abounding more and more, as Paul said.
Never enough. No matter how much you have, it's never enough. And that's why scriptures say they were addicted to the ministry. That's what it means to be an addict. It's never enough.
It's never enough.
You can never just reach a point where it's like, you look at these drug addicts, they're not getting to a stop. All right, I'm gonna take this last bit of dope, and that's it. I'm good after that. No, it's never enough. They keep going.
They always need that high.
So they overdose.
Yeah.
Yep. And it said, this verse 22, I'll go back to here, and it says, and he said unto them, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
So he knew the will. He studied Yahushua. He actually personally got the occupations from Yahushua and knew he had to work, but he chose not to. That's why it says, he that's slothful in his business in Proverbs is basically relative to him that's a great waster. So you slothful, you full of sluggishness, and you wasting time, man. That's a fucking double hit.
Yep.
Keep going.
That's why in Revelation says, because thou art neither hot nor cold. Hey, and Yahushua is basically telling us we got to be hot for this thing. No lukewarm.
Fervent in spirit.
Fervent in spirit. And really, part of being lukewarm is forsaking your carnal responsibilities too. You know, because what? Because your certain carnal responsibilities, they actually facilitate your spiritual growth. You know,
that's true.
Once you take care of certain experiences that you go through in the world, you learn certain things, certain traits that facilitate help your spiritual your spirit.
Or once you get certain carnal goals out the way, it's not wearing down.
It's not hindering you.
Yeah, that's true.
That focus more on the truth now.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, man. That's why sometimes your focus because you got so much fucking worries, man. And you got to cut those worries down by handling that shit.
Okay.
You know, like I think it was talking about that on Goodfellas. You know, Henry was all over the place, but he told him, man, you got to go home. Basically, go home and handle your business. What you doing, you not handling your affairs, it's throwing off your wave in the organization, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep going on.
Kind of says, and it says, wherefore then thou gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. So he's basically saying, well, you could at least put it in the bank. And you know, if you would have put it in the bank, I would have had some interest, you know. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that had 10 pounds. Yeah, so Yahushua is basically being fair, okay? Because he gave it to the one that increased the most, because really he deserves the biggest reward, okay? Because he was the one that took what was given and increased what he was given. And that's what it's all about, is using the gifts and traits that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave us to start out with, and you know, giving him that back with interest, you know.
Same with the 5 wise version and the 5 fools version.
Yeah, same thing. Yep. And you know, and you want Yahushua to be proud of your works. You know, when Yahushua comes back, you want to be like, damn, you know, okay, you did all that. Okay, because I only gave you this, but okay, you gave me, you were able to do something with that. You know, I just gave you a little glimpse of the truth, and look at how much good fruits you abounded. You got some bars off?
Yeah,
some quotes?
Yeah, and I just want to end it with a couple of these quotes. It says, success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come, and that's true. You know, because the greatness is the mastery of everything that you're working towards. But you work towards it, and then you know, at the end of the day, you know, you could take a step back and see your rewards and things of that nature. Like basketball players, while they playing the game, they're not thinking about how much points they're gonna score. They just busting their ass. Yeah. And then they see, oh, damn, I got fucking triple all these triple doubles and this, that, and other. Broken records. They just going hard off of their drive, because what they always are, you know, basketball players and, you know, athletes, they're always training. And everything they train to do, they dish it out on court, and it shows you how hard one man's been training rather than the next. How hard one man has been pushing himself, in and off the court.
Hey, I seen a video of Kobe Bryant on how he trained. He said he trained from he woke up at 3 in the morning, trained from 4 to 6, got home at 7, he ate, relaxed, went back from 9 to 11. He went back to training from 9 to 11. Went back home, ate, relaxed, went back to train from 4 to 6. So it's just really that dedication.
3 days.
Yeah, basically 3 days.
And it's like, how can you beat somebody like that?
How can you beat somebody who's perfecting their craft like that? There's no way everything that you do, he's practiced so much to where it's like, all right, I know my next move. You know?
Yeah, that's right. See. Says this is Shakespeare. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. This Marley. The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. You know, and it's a lot more quotes. That's really just the main thing I wanted to go into. And you know, that's the thing too. You know, you brothers read quotes. You know, read books pertaining to great individuals, so-called men that were great in their craft. It's not like you're trying to be a fucking engineer. You know, you trying to read. You know,
philanthropist.
Yeah, philanthropist or doctor or something like that. You know, but reading those traits, and first and foremost, we have the word.
Yeah, you equate everything to the truth.
That's right. We have the sure word of prophecy. We have great men in the scriptures. Job, David, Solomon, of course, first and foremost, Yahushua, the disciples, Jeremiah, Daniel, Samson, Samuel. The list goes on and on. It's so many men, you know, and it's still contemporaries in our time now, the apostles and the elders, and the brothers around you that's striving for that greatness. So taking those qualified individuals and trying to mirror your spirit after that, it's like you have no room to fail.
That's right.
But if you got niggas out, if you got Gucci Man and Lil Wop, and all these other little, he's young boy and he's
weirdos,
drug dealing, grimy niggas around, and that's all your mind is filled up with. You damn right you're gonna fail.
The scripture says, "No good to them always occupied in you."
Says he that's among the wise shall be wise, and the companion of fools shall be destroyed. So keep company in the spirit with positive spirits, men that's gonna push you and motivate you, so you can be self-motivated. Pray for stronger motivation. Pray to get to that higher height, like it says, so we can all measure up to the perfect stature of Yahushua. So that's all we have for Akim. Hopefully, you brothers were edified. We're gonna end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Kakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.